This is not just some crypto news headline. This is a betrayal of millions of people across 47 countries who trusted a company that promised to revolutionize digital finance and give everyday individuals a shot at wealth building. SafeMoon CEO Braden Karony has been sentenced to 100 months in federal prison. That's over 8 full years behind bars, with no possibility of early release for good behavior, for running a meticulously planned multi-million-dollar fraud scheme that ruined livelihoods, destroyed retirement savings, and shattered already fragile faith in the unregulated crypto industry.
Look at this. I want you to really look. These are the actual transaction records subpoenaed by the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Department of Justice's Cybercrime Division. Back in early 2021, when cryptomania was at its absolute peak, SafeMoon launched with flashy social media campaigns featuring influencers, professional athletes, and even a former reality TV star who was paid $250,000 to promote the token without disclosing their financial ties to the company. They promised investors their token would go safely to the moon, a catchy slogan that spread like wildfire across Reddit, Twitter, and TikTok. They marketed at 10% transaction fee as a groundbreaking protective measure, claiming 5% would be automatically distributed to existing holders as a passive income reward, and 5% would be permanently locked into decentralized liquidity pools to stabilize the price and prevent large-scale market manipulation. But here's the truth that came out in court. Karony and his co-conspirators, CTO Thomas Smith and original creator Kyle Nagy, had built secret, hidden backdoors into those so-called locked liquidity pools, giving them complete control to withdraw funds whenever they wanted.
While hardworking people, military veterans sending part of their deployment pay from bases in Germany and South Korea, single parents working two jobs trying to build college funds for their kids, small business owners who'd saved up through the pandemic to invest in something they thought could secure their future poured their hard-earned cash into this token. Karony was siphoning millions out of those pools for his personal gain. Court documents show he used the stolen funds to buy 3 mansions across the country, a $3.2 million estate in Austin, Texas, a $2.7 million waterfront home in Miami, Florida, and a $1.9 million ski chalet in Aspen, Colorado. He also purchased a fleet of high-end vehicles including a Lamborghini Urus, a Porsche 911 GT3 RS, a custom-built Ford F350 with price tags topping $150,000, and even a vintage 1967 Chevrolet Camaro that he had fully restored for $220,000. But it wasn't just luxury goods. He funneled money into offshore accounts in the Cayman Islands and Seychelles, and used investor funds to pay for private school tuition for his children, exotic vacations to the Maldives and French Polynesia, and even cosmetic procedures for himself and his partner. Prosecutors say he alone diverted over $9 million in crypto assets, and the total amount stolen from investors across the globe tops $200 million. At its height in May 2021, SafeMoon's market cap hit nearly $8 billion, with over 2 million people holding the token in their digital wallets. But once whistleblowers from within the company came forward with evidence of the fraud in early 2022, the token crashed more than 98% in just 6 weeks. And the company was forced to file for Chapter 7 bankruptcy in late 2023, leaving nothing for the people who believed in their promises. Smith, the former CTO, pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit wire fraud and securities fraud charges last year and testified extensively against Karony during the trial, revealing how they'd systematically falsified liquidity reports, manipulated the token's trading volume with fake accounts, and lied about the token's security features to keep investors buying in. He's currently serving a 42-month sentence at a low-security federal prison in Kentucky and is cooperating with ongoing investigations into other individuals who may have been involved in promoting the scheme. But Nagy, the original creator who came up with the SafeMoon concept, is still on the run. Authorities believe he fled the country just days before federal charges were filed in July 2024, traveling first to Mexico then to Eastern Europe on a falsified passport. Recent intelligence from Interpol suggests he may be hiding in Moscow, Russia, where he's reportedly trying to launch a new crypto project under the alias Alexander Vasiliev, using some of the stolen funds to fund his operations and bribe local officials to avoid extradition. Along with the 100-month prison sentence handed down by Judge Margaret Chan in the Southern District of Texas, the court ordered Karony to forfeit $7.5 million in seized assets, including cash, crypto holdings, and luxury items, and to surrender ownership of his Texas and Florida homes, which will be sold to help compensate victims. He's also been ordered to pay full restitution to all identified victims, though the exact amount is still being calculated as investigators work to track down every person affected by the scheme, a process that could take years, as many investors used anonymous digital wallets or were recruited through word-of-mouth networks. In her sentencing remarks, Judge Chen said Mr. Karony didn't just build a flawed cryptocurrency, he built an elaborate trap designed to extract as much money as possible from people who were excited about new technology and eager to improve their lives. He exploited their trust, their hope, and their lack of familiarity with complex financial systems, and for that, he must be held fully accountable. U.S. Attorney Joseph Nocella Jr. echoed those words outside the courthouse today, adding, "This case sends a clear message to the entire crypto industry: innovation is welcome, but fraud will not be tolerated. We will use every tool at our disposal to protect investors and hold those who break the law responsible."
Today, justice was served, but let's be clear, no amount of prison time or fines will bring back the money lost by thousands of families. I've spoken to victims who've lost their homes, who've had to delay their retirement by decades, who've had to tell their kids they can't afford college anymore. This isn't just about numbers on a screen, it's about real people whose lives have been upended by greed and deception. This case is a warning to every crypto scammer out there who thinks they can hide behind blockchain technology, anonymous transactions, or international borders. The law will catch up to you. And to every investor watching this, do your research, look for proper regulation and full transparency. Verify claims with independent sources, and remember this fundamental truth that so many have learned the hard way. If it sounds too good to be true, if the promises seem impossible to deliver, it almost always is. And to every victim of this scheme, you are not alone, and you deserve to see every penny of what was stolen returned to you. This fight isn't over yet.